let's not even think about massive infrastructure, which we should. We should be able to think about a microgrid in a community that can cut itself off from Con Ed when there's an outage, and independently have some on-site power, some renewable power, some batteries to keep itself going. And when I talk about the roof of the Jackie Gleason bus depot, I'm talking about the potential for having not only power for the bus depot for lighting and for their tools and all that stuff that would be cheaper than potentially, the Con Ed, although that's another question having to do with grids, so I'm not going to go there. But if there's a power outage and all the people from Sunset Park are, some of them have medicine that they need to, refrigerate, they need power, they need to charge their phones. The power from the top of that roof could be emergency power for those people.
Right.
And there's no reason it can't, except 1,000 laws and regulations that block it, right? The same thing has to do with interconnecting to the grid as a private property. Can you get batteries? Can you not? Again, these are very, very complicated problems only because of legal and business structures that we have. Technically, they're not problems. If we were out in the middle of Iowa and we needed an off-grid community, I don't pick on Iowa, but you know what I mean. We want an off-grid community, we can have it. We have the capacity to do it. We have solar power, we have batteries, we have geothermal, we have efficient building envelopes. We can do it. It's not a problem. What we have is we have 1,000 interests that all want to keep things the way they are because they're making money the way they are. So let's not think about that infrastructure, although we can. Microgrids, thermal energy networks, batteries that serve both grid resilience, meaning they smooth out the power that comes and goes from the grid, and emergency power in case of an outage, right?
Yeah.
We can do it. We can do it tomorrow, except the business isn't there. So let's look at something like community solar, which is legal and ready to go, right? Community solar is a way that if somebody has a big solar farm on top of a supermarket, on top of a parking lot, on top of a brown field,
a big box store that just closed, like Target or something.
Yeah, or if it's open, right? And maybe it'll use the power, maybe it won't. Or all of the L trains, all of the elevated trains that have stations and have elevated, railways that could be, or the. Let's go back to
7, the J.
The viaduct that takes the F train and the G train over the Gowanus Canal runs about a mile from Park Slope up and over down to Carroll Gardens and into the city. It's a huge structure.
It's not going anywhere.
It's not going anywhere, and it's holding up the train. It's doing its job. It's done its job for 100 years.
Yeah.
It could be the substrate for a solar and wind installation. That could be a community solar wind installation. So the community solar, which exists, is a way that individual ratepayers, if you got a Con Ed account, you got a Con Ed meter, you can buy your energy from a community solar array that could be in Staten Island, it could be in the Bronx, could be out floating on Jamaica Bay, I guess, or somewhere like that, Yeah. But the idea that it's connected to the Con Ed grid and through the on-bill pay relationship that we have, which allows you to buy your energy from any number of different suppliers, you can buy from a community solar farm somewhere, and you can effectively sign up for it. Buy your energy from there. You get a 10% or 15 or 20% discount depending on who does it. The industry standard now is 10% for the private developers who are doing this, but anybody can save a little bit of money and buy their energy from a local solar farm. Okay, why isn't this happening more? One, inertia. People don't know, they're not ready to make the change. But also because it's difficult to build a big solar farm in a city where people don't want to upset their parking lots or upset their roofs. They think everybody who owns a building in New York City thinks the zoning is going to change and they're going to be rich tomorrow because they're going to get to build a big building, right? But more importantly, they're not thinking in terms of a community benefit. They're not thinking in terms of a climate benefit. They're thinking about the bottom line.
Yeah.
And so there has to be businesses and architectural and engineering solutions that make it friendly for them, that I can think, oh, the roof's going to leak, or, oh, I'm going to have a problem if I want to, you know, sell the building. So all of these things are really significant challenges,
Right.
but we think that if we can solve them at a kind of prototype scale, a scalable, replicable bucket of this works, you know, let's go do it again. That's what we need to do. We need to find these solutions.
And a call out to people developing these projects. You know, maybe there can be little collectives of artists, architects, community leaders, and go set these up. And they can pair with financing to say, we actually have financing now to get these things going, and we know that there's a business model here. Right. So I think there where people are maybe looking for what type of ventures to start right now, they're getting laid off, their companies are going through big transitions. Right. You know, here's a clear business model for collaboration that we're going to need more of, is setting up these projects.
Yes.